Okay everyone, this one is worth having a look at and worth having a listen. I've done this video to show you, I couldn't speak about this bike enough during the day. You're going to get a real eye-opener on what went on with this bike and the build and the attention to detail that I don't know if it's been seen in Australia yet. You really got to have the right client and a lot of planning and some skills. Everyone's got a mate that can build a chopper and all that sort of stuff. I do that, I can do that, but this was the hardest thing I ever had to do and probably the most rewarding, and I'll go through this bike with you now. Well, first off, it's a ROADKING Classic, and you know, everyone's done up the paint and painted up a ROADKING with the hard bags on it, and they all look cool, they all look funky, all that. My client Mark and I, we had to think about this before we bought the bike, and or he bought the bike, sorry, and we decided that we haven't seen one in the whole entire world that has had a nice leather job. Believe it or not, this bike was built around these bags and incorporating some really talented tradespeople. That's Badass Trimco and Mark from Sydney Custom and myself. Without those three people, this bike was never going to happen. First off, the bags are just unbelievable to see when you first see it. This is first grade crocodile skin, not just, can buy just normal crocodile skin. This is first grade, it's wallet material. The leather and the workmanship was just over 8 grand, nearly $8,500 in leather. There's 4 crocs in here. It's definitely an amazing bike to see the leather work. And when I gave these bags and seat to Dave, and we picked this up and we went to photo shoot in Ozbike magazine, Dave's hands were red, sore, and he said, I can't shake hand out of my hands are killing me. This is the most proudest bike that I've ever been a part of, and the meetings and the lead up on the bags and the leather work and the seats was probably 4 or 5 meetings with Dave. What the object of this bike is, and anything I do, was to still fall within the lines of Harley Davidson, but make something better that they can never do. I'll tell you that now because they cannot put the time and craftsmanship into what I've done. I've enhanced this Harley to a level that I really hope you get some enjoyment to look at today. I moved from the leather bags to the paintwork. The paintwork, it's easy to say, yeah, it's black. The paintwork was probably 4 samples at Mark's at Sydney Custom. We did 4 different test runs of paint. If I was going to generalise the paint, in the light it's got a silver fleck like the BM M3. It's not a tacky, heavy flecked bike, and in the night it's as black, jet black as they can be. Okay, yeah, you spray the tanks, you spray the lights, you spray the guards, whatever. The problem come up was Mark's attention to detail is, hey, we're running 6 blacks on this bike. We've got pipes, motor, paintwork, frame, wheels, blower. We're running too many blacks. So we made a decision, which was about $17,500, to run 3 blacks. So it's just the pipe, the motor, and the rest of it's all one black. No anodizing. The anodizing was different shade of black. We just went one whole black. Mark had a massive paint job on his hands, and how we basically thought was, it's like looking at a diamond ring and a cheap zirconium ring. There's no comparison, and the overall look on this bike, it just makes it look smashing. Then we went to, obviously I had to make a set of bars for Mark. He'd sit on the bike The bars took me about 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. There's 6 pieces in the bars, and Mark can just sit on the bike, perfect comfort, perfect riding position. If you have a look at the PM controls and how I've run the lines and the wiring, I don't think anyone goes to that trouble. Then we go to the front end. We modified a headlight, steel. We bought the components in America. We wanted it to look like a ROADKING still on the front. I didn't want some whacked out thing, but we also had to just change the look and make the bike longer, and the lineup work and the fitment of everything. It was days or weeks on that, just on the front end of the headlight, matching up the boot covers. I couldn't believe the work that I had to put into getting that right. Then we go down to the front guard. Obviously that's not standard, but we're still falling in the lines of the front guard. It still looks Harley genuine. It's all set 10 mil off the wheels, perfectly in round with the wheels. We've got a 21-inch front wheel, 3.5-inch rim, American wire, Fat Daddy 50 spokes, great looking wheel. I didn't use the Fat Daddy disc, they're just punched out steel. We've gone for the PM. There's a lot of PM on this bike. The PM stuff's just really great on this bike. The wheel's gone to a 200 in the rear. Can't see that at the moment, but you'll see it at the show. It's Fat Daddy, and it runs a Sportster pulley. There was a lot of work. I didn't want a cheap aftermarket swing arm in this bike. I still wanted to keep the Harley quality. I just wanted to enhance everything. I wanted to make it better. The pipes are Vance and Hines, as you can see, and then we go to the heart of the engine and what's around the engine. It's got the Pro Charger. I sell them at APL Performance Bikes. It's running 8 pounds boost. It's a 96-inch engine. It's got float heads, cams, springs. It's forged pistons. The blower end's been painted and chromed. It makes this bike, which is heavy now, but makes it very light to ride with the power. It's definitely a freeway bike. It feels beautiful. It's the best thing I've ever ridden in my life for comfort and class. I really hope you enjoy this bike. It's got the Bimby crash bars. I had a lot of people from America support me on the idea of this bike, and the vendors contributed to the price and the parts to save some money to get this bike off the ground and out there. There's a lot of modifications in the rear end. As for the rear guard, it's a custom rear guard. It's all steel. It's welded on flutes to match the bags. It's all steel. It's all good quality. There's no junky fiberglass or any of that stuff that you see on the internet sites. I dropped the whole rear end down 1 inch in the frame. It's got airbags. They're always in stock at APL Performance. You'll see I've changed the angle of the bags. The bags have been stiffened up. They flop around. There was a lot of things that just needed to keep getting enhanced. This is gonna blow you out, guys. We got all the chroming in. We had brand new Harley parts. We had brand new PM parts. We had parts that needed chroming. Mark made a decision that we chrome everything, re-chrome it, all on the same day, polish all the weld lugs out of the Harley product, all the splats. We re-chromed on the same, we sent everything down for re-chroming on the same day down to Huntingdale electroplating, and I'm pretty sure the bill was around $15,000, and then you're looking, it was probably about a 7 grand call labour to do that. But that's how intense we were on this bike and making it the best Road King in Australia. Then I started receiving phone calls from America on the vendors asking me, can they have this bike on their website? I was saying, yeah, great. It started getting recognition in America through Pro Charger, even Harley Davidson. It was just amazing to get the phone calls or the emails saying what an unbelievable bike. Most of my vendors or people I buy the parts off in the States have put it at the world's best Road King. I'll leave it up to you to decide. It's got a combination of Harley quality components, a few aftermarket components, a few hand-built parts, or a lot. It's an awesome sounding bike. I hope you enjoy it. It's been the most pleasurable thing I've ever done and probably the hardest thing I've ever done in motorbikes, and I'm bringing it out today to show everyone, and that's what it's all about. We just like motorbikes, and I hope you all like this bike. Thanks very much. Probably I've been a part of a lot of things like Peter Jackson Racing or worked overseas with Chad Reed, a lot of cool stuff. Won some shows, some big shows with some nice bikes, and it's all cool. One of the coolest things for me was building the Road King and it going into Ozbike, who I love that magazine. It's just a lifestyle and a cool magazine. One of the most humbling things that ever happened in the Harley side was the Ozbike went out. It was one of their biggest sold editions ever in history. One dealer rang me up and said, oh, hey, I don't know you, Adam. That's a cool Road King. I'm such and such from Harley dealer. I go, oh, thanks man, that's cool. I'm pretty excited, thanks very much. And then about 3 or 4 other shops rang me up and said the same thing. That's a compliment to Harley. I can't believe what you've done. That's a beautiful bike. And I'm like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Like Harley shops don't know and never spoken to, and didn't think that was going to happen. So for the Harley dealers to say that's the best Road King they've ever seen it was an award in itself for me. Si rang me up and said, Adam, nice bike. Oh, I've heard about you. If you ever need a hand with anything, let me know. Funny that someone so personal, the owner ringing you up, and I do all my business there now. I buy all my bikes there, and the staff are really good there as well. I can't say enough about them, trying to help you out, and it's good to still have that sort of dealership around that doesn't forget about anyone, and nothing's too hard. So I thank the Harley dealers for supporting me with the Road King, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that.